everyone, my name is Jeana Fraser, and today I'm going to be talking about caffeine and its positive and negative effects on consuming it. Alright, so today I'm going to ask you a question. So, how many of you consume just one caffeinated beverage a day? By caffeinated beverage, I mean soda, coffee, my favorite, tea, or an energy drink. What about just one? Raise your hand. Alright, two? Okay, so you're one and two. What about three? Do you drink at least three?
Sometimes.
Three? Okay. What about four or more? Anyone? Okay, well, I'll admit I do. So that's pretty good. I'll get into more of that later. So I'm here today to inform you guys about caffeine and its positive and negative effects on your body. And a good thing to know about caffeine, the positive and negative effects, and what caffeine actually is so when you're consuming it every day, because I know we're college students, we're all going to consume caffeine, it's good to know what's actually going on in your body. Alright, so I've done a lot of extensive research about this because I myself drink a lot of caffeine, and it's good to know what's actually going in my body. And one day I sat down and was like, you know what, I should really start learning more about caffeine consumption and what is actually happening when I drink all of this caffeine. Alright, so in my speech today we're going to be talking about what caffeine actually is, what it actually does in your body, and then the positive and negative effects it has in your body. Alright, so now we're going to transition into what is caffeine and where does it come from. So caffeine is a stimulant. It is also a drug, and as a matter of fact, it's actually the most popular drug in the world. So I know that sounds a little scary, but it also occurs naturally. Okay, so by occurring naturally, it occurs in things like coffee beans, plants, or tea leaves. So an article from the Smithsonian says many drugs like caffeine, well, caffeine is a drug that is chemically addictive, but nothing to worry because it's not nearly as addictive as like heroin or tobacco, okay? So by saying it occurs naturally, it usually occurs naturally, but in things like energy drink, that's going to be artificially added. So yeah, I know a lot of people drink energy drinks, but all the caffeine in there is artificial. Alright, so now we're going to transition into why does caffeine make us more energized? So now I'm going to get a little scientific with you guys. So in our brains, we have these things called neurons, and when we consume caffeine, because it's a new substance in our body, the neurons in our brain are going to start like firing rapidly, okay? Because it's not used to it. So your pituitary gland in your brain is going to start releasing hormones, and those hormones are going to cause adrenaline, and that's why when you consume coffee, you start to feel a little more, not anxious, but be a little more alert, okay? Does that make sense? All right. So according to the Center of Addiction and Mental Health, in North America, more than 80% of adults regularly consume coffee. So, as we saw in the beginning when I asked the question, a lot of us do consume coffee, and so does the rest of North America, okay? So, it's definitely something very popular, and it's good to know about it. Alright, now we're going to transition to the positive effects of caffeine. So, we've all drank caffeine in here, as we could tell. It makes you feel very alert. It reduces fatigue, so that means it wakes you up when you drink it. It gets you in a better mood because obviously you want to be not tired, you know, like it stinks when you're having to do a bunch of stuff when you're tired. So also your attention span is going to become better because you are going to start actually being able to complete tasks in a better manner when you are more woken up. And a Villanova University, they say, adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone and affects your body with things like pupil dilation and an increased breathing rate. So like I said before, when you drink caffeine, you're going to get a little more adrenaline. And another study says, Claire Wood says coffee and tea also contain antioxidants, which are right there, which affect heart health. So it's good. There are some negative effects of caffeine, which we're going to get into later, but there are some positive, and antioxidants do help your heart. All right, now we're going to transition into the negative effects of caffeine. So how much caffeine are you consuming in a day? I know I asked the question in the beginning of my speech, but so if you're drinking 2 to 4 cups a day, that isn't going to hurt you that much. You're still going to become a little dehydrated because there aren't a lot of nutrients in a lot of caffeinated beverages, and you're also going to have an increased heart rate, okay? So now let's transition over to 5 or more cups a day. So that's where you're going to start getting some negative effects. So obviously you're going to become dehydrated, like the 2 to 4 cups. You're going to have an increased heart rate, but also drinking that much coffee is going to affect your sleeping, how well you sleep, how jittery you get, like antsy, and also you could also become addicted to it. Like I know a lot of people are addicted to caffeine, sometimes you get headaches. So it is very careful, you should be careful of consuming just 2 to 4 cups a day of caffeinated beverages. So according to a peer-reviewed journal by David Sharp, people who go off caffeine typically report sleeping better. So like I said before, it's going to affect your sleeping. So if you start drinking a little less caffeine, you'll probably sleep better. All right, so now let's transition to recapping what we just learned about, okay? So first we learned about what caffeine is and where it comes from, and then we learned about why caffeine makes us so energized. And lastly, we learned about the positive and negative effects of caffeine consumption, okay? I want to leave one more quote with you till we end, for the end of my speech. All right, Dr. Burak Fertil says daily doses of up to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day appear basically harmless. So like I said before, try to go to 1 to 4 cups of caffeinated beverages. Really try not to do 5 or more because that might hurt you long term. So today I hope I helped you learn about what's happening when you consume caffeine and what it's actually doing for the long term. I'm not trying to persuade you to not drink caffeine or anything. I do understand we're college students and we're still going to drink caffeine. I know I definitely am after I've done this research. But I wanted to help you guys be more aware of what you're actually putting in your body. So do we have any questions?
I have 2 actually.
Okay.
So my first is, are there any alternatives? Because I know that there's recently, like there's these coconut milk, coconut water, like energy drinks that have come out recently because it's like a healthier alternative, but obviously it still has caffeine. But do you have any like recommendations for like something better?
I guess, well, when I was in high school, I would literally drink like 4 cups in the morning and then I would drink coffee later because I would never get sleep. I guess my like recommendations would definitely be just drinking a little less and starting to like wean your body off of drinking so much caffeine. But I'm not 100% sure about like other, I know like my mom, for instance, like she drinks half caffeinated because like her doctor told her to, because it like helps you still drink a cup, like 2 cups a day, and you still feel like you're drinking caffeine, but you're really not drinking as much. All right.
Thank you. And my second question is, do you think the positive aspects outweigh the negative aspects? Because personally, I think the positive outweighs the negative.
I definitely think the positive obviously, like, if I have a cup of coffee before I go to sleep, like, I'm not gonna be able to go to sleep. Like, I'll have to take Benadryl or something. So I definitely think the positives definitely outweigh the negatives because you can just drink coffee in the morning. It's gonna wake you up. And yes, you might become a little jittery if you have like 3 cups, but it's definitely gonna be better than being a zombie all day.
You said that like coffee is more of like a natural caffeine and like energy drinks are more like artificial. So is coffee so is it okay to like drink coffee regularly, or like is it just energy drinks that
and I just wanted to point out that coffee is more natural because it comes from coffee beans, and tea is more natural because it comes from tea leaves. But energy drinks, none of it's natural. And the picture I had up there, it said they can put caffeine in jelly beans. I just wanted you guys to be aware that there's some things out there that aren't natural and they actually just put the caffeine in them. And it might not be as healthy for you, but you still get like the like being able to be woken up, you know. All right. Anything else? No, we're good? Okay.
Why did you pick this topic?
Well, like I said in the beginning, even when I was like 10, I would drink Mountain Dew. Like, my parents never really cared if I drank caffeine. Like, so I remember some kids would come over, like, parents let you drink caffeine. I just never really got crazy from it, you know? Like, a lot of kids, when they drink sugar, they're, like, bouncing off the walls. I was never like that. So I just liked Mountain Dew. And I just kind of thought one day, because a lot of people don't drink caffeine because they think it really, really hurts them. I was like, does it actually hurt you? And that's why I thought this speech would be a good time to actually learn about that and be able to present it to you guys.
Since you like brought up like detrimental effects of caffeine, there's like the common belief that it's bad for pregnant women. Do you believe in that statement?
Yeah, I didn't put it in here, but I read that, I forgot how many milligrams it was, but I get a lot of pregnant women don't even drink caffeine, which I probably won't do. And I know it's like the common belief to only drink decaf, you know? But they said they can consume a certain amount, like a little each day. But yeah, it does. I know it does like hurt the baby. I'm not 100% sure because that I didn't put that in my speech because it would only be like 6 minutes long. But yeah, I definitely think that would. Yeah. All right. Anything else? We're good? All right. Thank you guys.